When I was 76, life felt gentle. My days began in the garden, where I watered my roses, and ended with laughter as my grandchildren told me their little stories. I thought my final years would pass quietly, surrounded by family and peace. But life has a way of surprising us, sometimes with storms we never expect. It started with something small, a lump I almost ignored. I'm too old, I thought. It can't be anything serious. But my daughter insisted I see the doctor. I sat in that cold examination room, my heart calm at first. Then the doctor returned, his face serious. He spoke slowly, almost carefully. You have breast cancer. In that instant, the world grew silent. My breath stopped. I looked at my daughter. Her eyes filled with tears, her lips trembling. My heart broke, not just for myself, but for her. I thought, will I live long enough to hold my family again? That night, I couldn't sleep. I lay awake, staring at the ceiling, listening to the ticking clock. Fear gripped me like a shadow that would not leave. Thoughts rushed through my mind. Will I survive the surgery? Will I lose my strength? Am I already at the end of my story? At 76, death is not far, but I was not ready to surrender. Guidance break. My dear friends, let me tell you something important. Do not ignore the little signs. Don't wait. Don't say it's nothing. Early detection saves lives. If I had stayed silent, I would not be here sharing my story with you today. Please do your checkups, trust your body, and listen when it whispers that something is wrong. The next days were a blur of tests, scans, and endless medical terms that sounded frightening. I saw the worry on my children's faces. I wanted to be strong, but inside I felt small, fragile, uncertain. I asked myself, how can an old woman fight a disease so big? But deep down, another voice whispered, you still have love to give, and life to live. And so, though fear followed me everywhere, I decided I would not let it control me. I told myself, I will fight, not because I am unafraid, but because my family still needs me. Because hope deserves a chance, even at 7. The doctors explained that surgery was necessary, followed by treatment to fight the cancer inside me. My heart sank. At my age, even small wounds take longer to heal. How would I survive such a big battle? But I had no choice. I told myself, if this is the road to life, then I must walk it. The day of the surgery, I remember lying on the hospital bed, bright lights above me, machines humming around. I held my daughter's hand. She whispered, Mother, you are stronger than this. Those words stayed with me, like a shield. Hours later, I woke up in pain, my body weak, my chest heavy. A part of me was gone, and I wept silently. Cancer does not just attack the body. It tries to steal your dignity, your confidence, your sense of self. But I told myself I am still me. I am still alive. Then came chemotherapy. Oh, my dear ones, it was harder than I imagined. The medicine burned through my veins, leaving me exhausted. Food lost its taste, water made me sick, and my hair began to fall. Each strand on my pillow felt like a piece of me slipping away. I looked into the mirror and saw a stranger, pale, weak, bald. For a moment, I thought, am I losing myself completely? But here is what I want you to know. Illness changes how we look, but it does not change who we are. Do not let the mirror steal your courage, your beauty, your worth, your identity. They live inside you, not in your hair or your scars. If you are going through treatment, hold on. Remind yourself every day, I am more than my sickness. There were nights I cried until my pillow was wet. My body trembled with weakness, and my spirit felt crushed. But every time I wanted to give up, my grandchildren would come running, holding pictures they had drawn of me smiling, strong, standing tall. This is you, Grandma, they said. I smiled through my tears and thought, if they believe in me, I must try to believe too. The hospital became my battlefield, and each treatment was a fight. The beeping machines, the smell of medicine, the quiet halls, They all became part of my journey. And though I felt broken, I reminded myself every day, this pain is not forever. It is only the road to healing. My dear friends, if you are facing cancer or any illness, remember this: treatment is hard, but it is not punishment. It is the doorway to another chance at life. Take it one day at a time. Cry if you must, rest when you need. But never lose sight of the hope that tomorrow can be better. There were days when my body felt like it had no strength left, when even lifting a spoon was a struggle. But in those moments, my family became my arms, my legs, and my courage. They surrounded me with love so strong that even cancer could not break it. My daughter never left my side. She brushed my hair gently, even when it was falling out in clumps. She cooked soups when nothing else tasted right. She held my hand through the long nights and whispered, "Mother, you are not alone." My son, though busy with work, came every evening, bringing flowers to brighten my hospital room. He told me stories to make me laugh, even when my heart was heavy. And then there were my grandchildren, my little warriors of hope. They would run into my room, their tiny hands carrying drawings of me smiling, standing tall. On one card, my granddaughter had written, "Grandma, you can do this. You are our hero." I taped those drawings to the wall beside my bed. So every morning, the first thing I saw was not sickness, but love. My dear friends, if you ever face illness, let your family be your strength. Do not hide your pain from them. Let them hold you. Let them support you. Illness is not yours to carry alone. Love is the medicine no doctor can prescribe, but it heals in ways no pill ever could. Faith, too, became my anchor. In the early mornings, when the world was still quiet, I closed my eyes and prayed. Not long prayers, but simple words. God, give me one more sunrise. Let me hold my family a little longer. And somehow, every morning, I found enough strength to fight one more day. There was one evening I will never forget. My youngest grandson climbed into my bed, pressed his little palm against my cheek, and said softly, "Grandma, God is healing you." I asked him myself. His innocent faith brought tears to my eyes. In that moment, I thought, if a child can believe in my healing, how can I stop believing too? Slowly, with family on one side and faith on the other, I began to see myself not as a victim, but as a fighter. Yes, cancer had taken my hair, my energy, my comfort, but it had not taken my spirit. My family's love reminded me who I was. My faith reminded me whose hands I was in. Together, they lit a fire inside me that no sickness could put out. Months passed in hospitals, treatments, and endless weakness. There were times I thought the pain would never end. But one morning something felt different. I woke up, and instead of tears, I felt a small spark of strength inside me. For the first time in weeks, I stood in front of the mirror, pale, tired, bald, but I smiled. Because that day, I still saw hope looking back at me. When I went for my regular checkup, the doctor walked in with my reports. His face, usually serious, had softened. He looked at me and said, "Your body is responding well to treatment. The cancer is shrinking." For a moment, I couldn't believe my ears. My daughter burst into tears of joy. My son hugged me tight, and I, too, wept not from pain this time, but from relief. I whispered, "Thank you, God. Thank you for one more chance." From that day, everything changed. The battle was not over, but now I knew I was winning. My steps felt lighter. My heart felt stronger. Each day became a victory, no matter how small. Walking a few steps without help, tasting food again, laughing with my grandchildren, all these little things became treasures. My dear friends, healing is slow, and sometimes it feels invisible. But never underestimate small progress. Even a single step forward is proof that you are still fighting. Don't wait for big miracles. Celebrate the little ones. They are signs that tomorrow will be brighter. My grandchildren continued to be my cheerleaders. One day, my granddaughter brought me a crown made of paper. She placed it on my head and said, "You are the queen of fighters." Grandma, we all laughed, but in that laughter, I felt my spirit rise higher than any medicine could lift it. I realized then that healing is not only about the body, it is about the soul. The road was still long. Some days the weakness returned. Some nights I cried in silence. But the turning point had given me something precious, faith that I could make it. I stopped seeing myself as someone waiting for death and began seeing myself as someone walking toward life. And slowly, as weeks turned into months, I began to feel whole again. My body was healing, my spirit was stronger. And for the first time since the diagnosis, I could say these words with confidence: I am surviving. I am living. I am still here. After months of fear, pain, and endless hospital visits, the day finally came when the doctor looked at me with a smile and said, "Congratulations, you are cancer-free." For a moment, I sat frozen. Could it really be true? My daughter cried tears of relief. My son hugged me tighter than ever before. And my grandchildren clapped as if I had just won the biggest race of my life. In that moment, I realized I had been given a second chance at life. The weeks that followed were filled with quiet reflection. I would sit in my garden, the sun warming my face, and think about everything I had survived. Cancer had taken my hair, my strength, my comfort, but it had given me something far greater. It taught me to cherish every breath, every smile, every moment. I no longer take life for granted. Even a simple cup of tea shared with family feels like a treasure. At 76, people thought my journey was nearing its end. But this experience showed me that age is not the end of strength. In fact, it is where wisdom, patience, and resilience shine brightest. Cancer tried to silence me, but instead it made my voice louder. It reminded me that hope has no age. My dear friends, if you or someone you love is fighting cancer or any illness, listen carefully, never lose hope. Illness may test your body, but don't let it break your spirit. Surround yourself with family, lean on faith, and remember, healing is not always fast, but it is always possible. Celebrate small victories. Trust your doctors. Take care of your health. And above all, believe that your story is not over until you decide it is. Life after breast cancer is not just about survival, it is about rebirth. I feel like I was given a new chapter, and I intend to live it with gratitude and joy. Every time I see my grandchildren's smiles, every time I hear their laughter, I whisper, "Thank you, God, for letting me stay." So, to anyone listening today, if you are afraid, know that fear is only the first step. Beyond fear, there is strength. Beyond pain, there is healing. And beyond sickness, there is life. Hold on to that truth with everything you have. And when people ask me now, "How did you survive cancer at 70?" I smile and tell them, I survived because I refused to give up. And because hope, love, and faith are stronger than any disease.